We are Extrication Fitness, and this is the Untapped Podcast.
Man, we're getting pretty good at that.
Yeah, that's pretty sexy sounding, isn't
sick.
it?
Yeah. That's gonna be that intro is gonna be known.
Oh man,
a lot of people are gonna know that.
It's gonna be unreal.
Yeah, we got big plans for this podcast.
Yes, we do. We do.
Keep the support going. Keep the listens coming in.
Yep.
I don't think we expected the amount of listeners, the amount of support we've gotten so far.
Yep.
Truthfully, I was expecting 3 people to be listening to this.
Yep.
And it's been more than that.
Because we were checking what's it called, episode 3's
analytics or
whatever. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. No, it's so guys, for real. You might think it literally is meaningless to tell a friend or post this on your story. That's the easiest thing too. When you listen to it on Spotify, it connects to your Instagram. It's super easy to throw up the title or the episode picture or whatever you want to call it. Super easily can be put onto your Instagram story. So guys, doing something as simple as that makes us grow and makes our voices heard by even more people, and we love that. But again, it's it's been really surprising. It's been awesome.
It's been amazing.
Freaking appreciate it so much.
Along the same lines of feedback as well, we're going to touch on it again. Please send us questions for our Q&A.
Yep.
Again, we're going to add that in at the end of the episodes. If it's related to the episode, if it's funny, if it's about any of our topics related with nutrition, weight training, whatever, current events,
Yeah, it literally anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be fitness focused. It can be current event. It can be relationship.
Yep.
It can be a sport. It doesn't matter. Send it in, and if we like it and it can hold a conversation for a few minutes, we're going to get to it.
Yep.
We will.
Definitely.
So send the questions in to the DMs of @Extrication Fitness on Instagram, and then just look up Extrication Fitness on Facebook.
Yep,
if
it'll pop
you're
up.
listening through that mode or looking at us through that platform.
And then our email.
Or email them. If it's not, I believe it is in our bio, but if it's not, it's extricationfitness@gmail.com.
Yep.
So really easily can be sent through the email as well. So whatever's easiest for you guys. But hey, we're going to hop right into part 2.
Yep, part 2
of this episode.
From the train perspective now, a.k.a. you've been going for a year or two now, maybe a little bit over 6 months because some people pick it up pretty quickly.
Sure.
Basically from the point of the person that is now an experienced person in the gym and how to keep going, how to keep seeing results, how to, be specific for yourself with training, that type of stuff.
And in case you don't remember what we talked about in part 1 or you didn't listen to part 1, here's just a quick recap. We listed out 5 points to follow for the untrained.
Yep.
That's what part 1 was about for episode 5 here. Do you want to read those 5 points out?
Yeah, if you haven't listened to that episdo, go ahead and go back and listen to that because it's good. Even if you are in the trained category, go back, listen to it, and kind of I guess what do you want to call it? Ease your way into the part 2, basically.
Or if you know someone that's contemplating getting ready to go in the gym or wanting to start a new fitness journey or working towards some goals, refer them to that episode and be like, hey, they laid out 5 really good points to follow. It's going to simplify things. Give them a listen, 15, 20 minutes of your time.
Yep.
But here were those 5 points.
So 5 points. First one, look up a macro calculator. Start there, get kind of your maintenance calories, get where you need to be if you want to add weight, if you want to lose weight, that type of stuff.
Right. Literally on Google.
Literally on Google, yeah. Number 2, reach out to someone you trust. Could be us on Extrication Fitness. Doesn't have to be like we mentioned in last episode. Could be.
We would love it to be.
We would love it to be us for sure because we are 100% somebody that we feel like we are, 1, experienced enough to do that, and 2, that we are going to give you good enough advice to do that too.
For sure. We'll get you results.
100%. And number 3 is focus on form, aka drop the ego. That's big key right there, dropping the ego when it comes to coming into strength training and getting into weightlifting, that type of stuff.
It does not matter what you did in high school or college, or if you're an older adult, it doesn't matter what you used to do.
Yep.
Because you're not going to be able to do the same thing you used to.
Because like us, you probably did it wrong.
Yep, we definitely did.
In high school, we definitely did it wrong.
Yeah.
Probably almost all of our lifts were not really great in form.
Yep.
Some of them might have been, but most of them no.
So that's number 3.
Yeah. Number 4 is what I like to call Wirtz's tagline because it's a great point. It's very simple. Just start.
Yep.
Get in the gym. Get after it.
Just go.
After you do all these 3 things, you're thinking about all these things, you come in, go to number 4, just start, get after it.
Yep. I'll start Monday.
Yeah.
I'll start on this date.
I'll start in the New Year's.
Yep. Just go. There's no reason to wait. Just go. Just start.
Yep. Number 5 is as you just start, put that effort in, get after it, come in with an attitude like I'm going to crush this day, because you get that sweat, you get that soreness, your workout's going to be 10 times better. Mental wise, it's going to be incredibly. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the 5 points we went over in part 1.
Yep.
For the untrained population.
Sure.
Now we want to talk about the trained population, like Gable said. That 6 or more month person, 1 year, 2 years in the gym. The person that is getting after it and continues to get after it. This is gonna be your episode. And for those of you coming from the untrained crowd, you're gonna get here. You will. You'll be a part of this group much sooner than what you think.
Yep.
So, anyway, go ahead.
So when it comes to the train group, first thing I thought of right off my head here is, and I learned this along the way as I started training my freshman year, as I mentioned in college here, was start doing your own research diligently on your own stuff. And because the thing is, and I say this from a trainer perspective too, because my goal as a trainer, and again, if you want to train with me your whole life, you want to be a client that's sort of around for like 15 to 20 years, cool, that's great. But for the most part, my goal as a trainer is to have you within 3 to 6 months be able to go out on your own and handle this shit on your own. Because again, we talk about this. It's not just the financial for us. It's literally seeing results. And if I feel like you're just kind of like not learning anything while I'm training you, then I'm like scratching my head like, what am I doing wrong?
Right, because that's on us at that point.
Exactly. So number one is 100% being able to literally sit down and do your own research. And again, this kind of comes into play when you first start out lifting. Sure, you should be vetting people like we kind of mentioned a little bit. But realistically, what you should be able to do, you should be able to look up, research, and find, is a plant-based diet actually good for me? Is a carnivore diet actually good for me? Is a Mediterranean diet good for me? Because, research, is keto good for me? Because, again, everybody is going to react differently to that type of stuff.
And everyone's got different goals.
Exactly. Yeah, and there's bodybuilding training, there's power building, which is like, doing the compound movements and the bodybuilding movements all in one. There's more athletic-based training, which Jeff Lavecchio is a great source for that. If you want to look into him, again, kind of shouting Jeff out. Love you, Jeff. Yeah, you're a beast.
There's marathon training, cross-country training, that kind of thing. That's not really our cup of tea.
Not really,
But bike training, like whatever.
And again, that comes into what's called the principle of specificity. What that is whatever type of training or whatever type of goals you're looking for, structuring your training around that.
Right. Be specific with your goals, and then when you have that specific goal, get specific with your training is basically what he's meaning here.
Now, again, if you had a trainer, they likely gave you that kind of blueprint. If you had a trainer. If you don't, though, that's what you should be researching and getting into.
And write it down.
Yeah.
Like, I underestimated literally writing things down. Like, taking a pen or a pencil and literally taking a notepad, like I've got right here, with our notes on it, and writing the stuff down. Like, do it so it's concrete, it's real. You can look at it. Like, at least for me personally, if I just put those goals into like a note on my phone or something, or a Google Doc or whatever, like, it gets lost. But like, I have 2 big cork boards in my room, and there's very little room for any more sticky notes on there because I have so much pinned up there. Some are goals, some are just like quotes and stuff that I like to read and just whatever that vibe with me. But write your stuff down, guys.
It's really cool, honestly. It is, Which, I mean, I think you got it from Goggins probably too, because he was the one in Can't Hurt Me that mentions that.
I got the note taking from him, and then I was like, I need to be able to see these every day. So that's how I did it.
Nice.
But again, like if doing it on your phone or Google Docs like works better for you guys, then do that. Do whatever's going to work for you, which plays right into get specific with your goals, get specific with your training, and if you have a trainer, you need to make sure that they're being specific with your training as well.
Yep, exactly.
So,
yeah. Eventually, obviously, as you get more experience, that training is going to get more specific. Right. If you're right off the bat, more than likely what trainers are going to do is pretty much get you moving.
Yes.
Which, I mean, it depends on the place you're at. If you're an athlete, they should be obviously training you like an athlete. But if you're
sport specific, or have an event,
exactly. But if you're very untrained, if you're just new to lifting, they should be training you in the way of just getting you moving and getting you into some kind of program to literally get the newbie gains like we talked about last episode.
And you don't always have to be working towards an event or specific sports training. Like, you can just be training to be training. But don't just go through the motions every day. Still have specific goals, but I don't want us to sound like, oh, you have to be training for a specific event or bodybuilding competition.
Yeah, you do not at all.
You definitely don't.
Do what you enjoy. Yeah. I've switched a lot. I've gone between power building. I've gone between just bodybuilding. I've gone between. Recently, I actually a couple of my days recently have been like calisthenics days, just because I've been like, I want to try something different.
Right.
I want to grab maybe a kettlebell or something like that day instead of, or I want to just grab what are the rings like.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? Yeah,
gymnastic rings.
Yeah, gymnastics rings basically, and do some stuff with that. I want to do like L sits. I want to be able to like slowly work toward handstands. Like it's just something different for me.
Right.
Like I like.
And you have to continue to test your body.
Yeah.
You got to shock your body. You know, it's not talked about a whole lot, but there's a lot to be said by doing that to your body.
Yep.
You know, do the same thing for like 3 to 4 weeks is usually the window they say to get your body used to certain movements, but then you should be changing up your routine some to shock your body to continue to get those gains.
Yep.
So
that along the same lines is kind of leads us into our second point here. But second point, I'd say again, this is our list that we basically are giving you right off the bat. It's not like some kind of guaranteed exact list you should follow necessarily, but what we basically like different points that we think should be really good for you as a trained individual in this case.
And stuff that's worked for us.
Yes,
too.
and stuff that's worked for us. Number 2 would be progressive overload.
Yeah.
If you've ever heard of progressive overload, basically what it is, and progressive overload is, let's say on dumbbell bench press, you're doing 70s for 8 reps that week or something like that.
Right.
Next week, let's say you're aiming for 10 reps of 70-pound dumbbells in each hand. Next week, you're aiming for 12 reps in that hand. Right. And maybe that's way too easy after 12 reps. You go up to 75 pounds on each hand. And you go back down to 8 reps.
8 reps. Right.
So that's one exercise, that's one little rep kind of scheme of it. But progressive overload should 100% be included in your training.
Absolutely.
Because your results are going to continue, like we talked about plateauing last week. Again, your results as you continue to train, obviously you're going to have so much muscle built up that the results are going to slow down a little bit.
Right.
But to keep it going, there's a lot of factors. One of those factors is progressive overload, which is a huge idea behind it. So
in our last episode, you guys might have heard me say like plateau is kind of almost like a false term.
Almost like a buzzword, yeah.
Yeah, only because, and really the only reason anyone like plateaus is because they're not progressively overloading their body.
Exactly.
They're just doing the same thing every single week, and it's like, dude, no wonder you're not seeing results. You know, you have to continue to test your body, shock your body.
Yeah.
You know, you get used to those 70s, or maybe you're doing 35s. You know. Again, maybe you're new or whatever, and you're just doing 35s. Like, that's fine. Whatever's testing your body. But if you just do that for weeks and weeks and months, and you're like, why is my chest not getting bigger? You know, because we're talking about dumbbell chest press here. Well, dude, you got to test yourself.
Yep.
You know, you got to go grab the 40s. You got to go grab the 75s or the 80s or whatever.
Do you even feel like your chest is being activated when you do that movement?
Right.
Maybe you need to rotate into an A press, which that's another thing we can talk about too.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. No, exactly. So the reason people plateau is not because their body has just stopped its ability to grow muscle.
Yep, exactly.
It's because you're not testing your body enough.
Because your body naturally adapts to the 70-pound weight.
Yeah, it's getting stronger.
Yeah, naturally.
That's why it gets easier.
Again, we're just saying 70 pounds as an example, guys. You don't need to be doing 70 pounds on dumbbell press.
Right. Again, it could be 25s, it could be 40s, it could be 55s, like whatever it is for you, but don't just stay at that same weight for weeks on end.
Yep.
So,
because, I mean, the whole goal of strength training is for your body to get stronger, right?
Exactly.
So, of course, you're going to see your body get stronger, and if it gets stronger, why would you stay at the same weight?
Exactly.
The basic concept behind it.
Right.
So,
and again, this kind of goes back to point number 3 of our last episode, drop the ego.
Yep.
Drop the ego. Just do what your body can and continuously get stronger. That's how you'll get those gains. And if you're in the mindset of, I used to do this weight, I used to do 90s on the press, but I'm only doing 70s now, like, well, okay, progressively overload your body, and you're going to get back to that, and you're probably going to go beyond it.
Yep.
Because you're doing it correctly now, too.
Yep. I would say along the same lines, third point, because again, I'm trying to progress this the best way we can for you guys here. Mm-hmm. Number 3 would probably, I would say, is be honest with yourself. Mm-hmm. If you're seeing a regression of gains, if you're seeing you might have gained like 10 pounds or something like that, and it's not good weight or whatever, be honest with yourself. You've heard words in plenty of episodes say, hey, my diet hasn't been as good as it could be, which I'm on the same level as that. There's plenty of days where it's like, okay, I could have skipped, like the bag of Cheetos I had or something like that, because Cheetos taste so damn good. Cheez-Its taste so damn good. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So be honest with yourself. And don't go like complaining to your gym partner or something like that if you noticeably are like making obvious mistakes that are regressing you to a point.
Seriously, like grow up and admit it.
Yeah.
Like you know what you're doing incorrectly to not see the gains, or you see the stomach sticking out a little bit more, or maybe you're mentally not as clear, you're not getting enough sleep or whatever it might be, but you know what the problem is, you're just choosing not to admit it.
Maybe you don't have a program at all you follow.
Yeah.
Maybe you're literally just going to the gym and just doing whatever.
Right.
That's another problem.
Yep.
Be honest with yourself. Like, hey, like I need to have a program so I can follow something and so I can see these gains.
And what people underestimate is you can't, as a dude, you can't work chest 5 days a week because your chest is not going to grow that way.
Yep.
The gains are made in the rest. You know, that's why we have that split routine that we work right now. And, like, you have to give your body the rest in order to see that growth.
There we go.
We
Cool.
just had a little bit of a technical hiccup there.
Yep.
But we're good. But anyway, you can't work the same body part, and you can't just walk around the gym and just, oh, this machine's open, so I'll do that. This bench is open, so I'll do that. This whatever is open. No. Have a structure so that you can see those gains.
Yep.
And then once you get to the gym, you know exactly what you're doing.
Exactly.
It's not just, oh, I'm going to waste 40 minutes of the time I'm at the gym walking around, and now I'm at the gym for 2 hours.
Just dicking around for no good reason. Yeah.
Go there, set a certain amount of time that you're going to be at the gym, and then get after it.
Yep. Now, if that's the type of training you want to do, if you really are about, like you want to come in and just do whatever you kind of want to do, be honest with yourself that your gains probably aren't going to be as great as they could be. Right. Now, there's nothing wrong with that because you're still going to be really healthy as long as you're getting in the gym, getting after it, you're putting effort in on every exercise. But don't expect to see your squat skyrocketing or something like that if you're just kind of coming around and doing like maybe a set of leg extensions and like some leg curls and then maybe hitting like one set of squats every 2 weeks or something like that. So again, if that's what you want to do it. That's fine. We're all about getting and being healthy, but realistically, to really maximize, one, your enjoyment of the gym, and two, your gains in the gym and your progress in the gym, you should be making yourself have a plan and a program on it.
And have that structure.
Yeah.
And again, ask for help if you need.
Yep.
Ask for help. Do research. Do a Google search. Whatever.
Yep.
Reach out to us. That's going to be your best option. That's what we want.
Definitely.
So have that structure.
Yep. I mean, those are probably the top 3 points I'd say for that.
I'd say so. I agree with that.
And again, if you guys have questions along with it, this can also be part of the Q&A. Let us know if you have more questions along with that. Those are, I think, when it comes to train, that is a very that's a perfect breakdown of it for you guys pretty much right now. When it comes to train, we can go more in depth on that if you'd like to hear more of it for the train section. I thought we touched really well on the untrained section. Yes. So again, both sections, untrained or trained, send us questions for the Q&A on there, and we can touch more in depth on that type of stuff. So,
regardless of who you are, listen to both parts of this episode because both are vital. You may have been a part of both groups at one point in your life. If you're going to be a part of both groups at one point in your life, which we hope for, listen to both parts. They are vital to anybody.
Yep.
But that's kind of our 3 points there. Principle of
specificity.
Yeah. That's one of the words I always fumble on.
That's because every word they have on those principles is just the most stumbling words you can possibly pick to put on there.
We read through them, when we were both going through the NASM schooling and program. Yep. It's oh my,
reversibility, adaptation, specificity.
They're not tough words. They're just you just fumble up your mouth. But anyway, that's the number 1 point, or the first point. Second, progressive overload.
Yep.
Go heavier on the weight. Go longer on the weights. Give a pause at the bottom of the eccentric movement, which is the bottom part of the movement. Mm-hmm. Whatever. Progressively overload your body and your lifts. And number 3, be honest with yourself if you're not seeing gains. And again, this is for the trained population. This is someone who's been in the gym for quite some time. This is someone who consistently exercises. Be honest with yourself if you're not seeing gains because you know the reason why. You're just choosing not to admit it. We've all been there. We all have done it. I would be lying if I said I haven't been in that situation before. So be honest with yourself, and to kind of go along with that third point, have the structure.
Yep.
While you're at the gym, have a structured plan, have an idea of what you're going to do, have a body part that you're going to work, and you'll start seeing those gains again.
Yep.
We can guarantee it. Again, guys, please reach out with questions for a Q&A section. We would love to get started on that in our next episode. Again, submit the questions through our Extrication DMs. on Instagram or through Facebook, or you can email the questions to extricationfitness@gmail.com.
Yep.
Send them in. We'll pick a question. We'll answer it. It can be funny. It can be sports related. It can be fitness related, politics, current events, COVID, whatever you want. We'll give it an answer. We'll give it a shot. Again, we love the support so far.
Yep.
We'll see you guys next time. Episode 5, both parts at you.
Share the show.
Yep. Share the show too.
Yep.
Peace and love, guys.